So why would they take the book of Enoch out of the Bible? It really had nothing to do with the giants and everything to do with capitalism. Yes, you are correct, but I want to talk about the book of Enoch. So, time for a Bible study. I have a migraine, but I'm gonna do my best. So a lot of people, when they talk about the book of Enoch, they talk about the giants. And if you guys don't know, in first Enoch, there were a group of celestial beings that were supposed to be watching over humanity. They were called the Watchers. So about 200 of them decided to go against God and come down to earth. And while they were walking among men, they had relationships with human women. And when they had children, their children were large giants. The children that were giants were very violent. They were taking the resources away from the humans. They were just problematic. Now, a lot of people think the book of Enoch was taken out because of this giant story. It seems like it's too unbelievable, but let's not forget David slayed Goliath, and Goliath, I think, was probably one of the last giants on the planet. So I don't think it was really about the giant story, but in that story, God was very upset with the Watchers, so he decided that he was going to judge them. Then the giants asked a human, Enoch, to petition God to not punish them. Of course, God didn't listen to him, because like I said, they were very violent, they were stealing the resources, and they were attacking humans. Not only that, but the Watchers were giving humans celestial knowledge. They were teaching humans metalworking and how to create weapons. Sorcery, incantations, astrology. I mean, they were teaching them things that God did not want humans to know. They were all considered forbidden knowledge. So finally, the humans on the planet looked up to the sky and said, why the hell are you allowing these giants to do all this stuff to us? And God was like, okay, we're going to judge the giants and the Watchers. So the Watchers were condemned and the giants were supposedly destroyed. And in the book of Enoch, it says that the giant spirits still roam the earth today. So that's a real interesting story. So why would they take the book of Enoch out of the Bible? It really had nothing to do with the giants and everything to do with capitalism. At least that's my opinion. Now, after the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel came down and carried out God's judgment, Enoch was taken with God somewhere. In Genesis 5 verse 24, it states that Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more because God took him. I found that interesting. In the book of Enoch, it tells you that he went into the heavens and saw how things were created and all sorts of things, but y'all should read that on your own. This is not the purpose of this video. Like I stated before, I think the book of Enoch was taken out because of capitalism, but also slavery. And here's why. The book of Enoch connects wickedness with wealth, power, violence, aggression, exploitation, arrogance, injustice, especially oppression. And the righteousness is portrayed as people that suffer under those systems. And those people that suffer under those systems remain righteous. So meaning that they don't allow their oppression to dictate their morality. And just because they're oppressed, they don't oppress others. That is what the book of Enoch, that is what God considered righteous. Not the rich, not the powerful, not those who exploit, not the arrogance, not injustice, and not oppression. And in the book of Enoch, it explains the punishment for those who oppress, those who are violent, those who consider wealth and power more important than their humanity. First Enoch 94 verse 8 condemns those who get silver and gold through unrighteousness. It says, you become wealthy, but your wealth will not save you. And that means it will not save you from God's judgment. First Enoch 96 verse 7 warns about those who prosecute the righteous. The righteous is those underneath the system of oppression. It states that God will judge those who oppress others. And first Enoch 46 4 through 8 talks about the Son of Man that condemns kings and rulers for oppressing people. Now, I can keep going about the book of Enoch, but essentially that book talks about capitalism, it talks about greed, it talks about rulers who are oppressing and exploiting the people that they rule, and they talk about the punishment that they will receive. So I wonder why the book of Enoch was not put in the Bible. The Bible that these evangelical people are reading today. What do you think would happen to the psyche of a group of people who have been oppressing people, specifically black people, for 450 years? What would happen if they read that because of what they did, that no matter what, they will be judged and cast into the lake of fire? Before I left Christianity, I made sure to research everything about the Bible, and I came across the Ethiopian Bible. And it made me very confused why these particular books were not in the Bible that I was reading. And as I kept reading the Ethiopian Bible, I realized a lot of it was because the Bible was redacted to perpetuate white supremacy and colonization, to steal people's land, resources, and claim it as their own because they think that those people are savages. And once they claim that you are a savage, that means you don't own anything. Not the land that you're on, not your wife, not your children, not your house, no nothing. And that's how colonization spread. But man, can you imagine what would happen to a group of Christians' psyche when they realize the hate, oppression, the injustice that they have done to black people? is a straight road to the lake of fire? That's all for my Bible study today. Maybe I'll do some other books, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for your comment. I wanted to use your comment to talk about this. Remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect Black women. Until next time, sorry this video is long. Did not mean for it to be this long. And I have a migraine, but I think I did pretty good. Love y'all.